technical components, potential use in logistics and supply chain. First, we want to start with history of Metaverse. History of Metaverse. It seems Metaverse entered our life at the beginning of 21st century, but it was imagined in theory. It was imagined, dreamed, and attempt way back then in 1838. Charles Wheatstone, who is a scientist, bordered the concept of binocular goggles. It was device combined separate two images to make a one three-dimensional image. Binocular concept guided to the build-out of stereoscopes, which is a technology use illusions of depth to create a visual. It was the same same with VR devices in a work method way. In a 1935, writer Steiner Weinbaum published Pygmalion Spectacles book. At the book, our main character, using a goggles that accord features like taste, smell, touch, or sight. I'm sorry. Morton Hailing invented the Sensorama machine in 1956, which is the first VR machine. Sensorama simulated riding a motorcycle simulation by combining three-dimensional video with audio and vibrating seat to trick the viewer to create a simulation of reality. In the 1970s, MIT developed the Aspen Movie Map, which permitted users to take a virtual tour of Aspen. The word metaverse stated in the Neil Stephenson cyberpunk novel Snow Crash. Novel was published in 1992 for the first time, and the word metaverse in the book is a three-dimensional virtual reality space which you can enter with personal interface and VR glasses. In 2003, massively multiplayer online game Second Life in published, and in Second Life people can customize their avatars realistically, become acquainted with other people in the game, and create virtual goods, own real estate, and exchange goods and services. In short, metaverse seems like a concept that newly known and newly born in our century by meta founders Mark Zuckerberg's statements, but it's existed almost 200 years, and the infrastructures behind today's internet allows huge crowds to accumulate in virtual universe, such as the 12.3 million players tuned into virtual reality concert of Travis Scott in Fortnite game.
We can continue literature review the potential use of metaverse in supply chain. Undoubtedly, e-commerce is the area where metaverse is most effective. The foundations of e-commerce were laid in 1994 with the Amazon company founded by Jeff Bezos. Steam, which is founded by Gabe Newell, is one of the first e-commerce that allows people to buy games and sell games items to other players. Amazon is the best company to use metaverse technology right now. They have virtual markets that provide virtual shopping for people. With the development of virtual reality technology, there is no doubt that our traditional purchasing attitude and supply chain operations will gradually change. The metaverse could even be one of the first steps in logistics because we already hear the first steps. Now, human workers are being replaced by smart technological devices that can be fully programmed remotely. Once last mile logistics is complete, we believe that logistics process that return to first mile logistics will not have to wait long for the customer's return request. This is because there are hologram based experiments in the metaverse universe. In this way, the number of returns will decrease and customer satisfaction will be high, as the technologies used will be equipped with a whole new generation of technologies that can be tracked in real time. Overlooked errors in supply chain process will also decrease. These technologies will also leverage big data to create more accurate and effective plans for logistics companies and all players in the delivery network. We believe that the concern about warehouse capacity will end with the creation of new warehouse capacity that can be created on demand. Uh, the metaverse is leveraging emerging technologies such as 5G, the industrial IoT, and VR to deliver an immersive multi-scenario user experience. This technology opens the door to a wide range of opportunities for companies in all industries and areas of activity, from new channels for interacting with customers, exhibitions, product samples, and virtual trade shows, to new business models enabled by blockchain and NFT technology. Logistics could be one of the industry segments that benefits most from the emergence of the metaverse. These new technology would help optimize process, uh, avoid cost overruns, and facilitate connectivity between the various links in logistics. You can
And
continue.
we want to talk about what are the technical components of metaverse, and the fatal component of the metaverse is no doubt blockchain. Metaverse can be centralized like the Facebook and Microsoft. However, blockchain technology and its use cases such as NFTs and cryptos aim to replace the centralized concept of the metaverse with a powerful and decentralized infrastructure. Blockchain offers storage advantages, like decentralized blockchain database offers far greater storage capacity than a centralized storage system. At the security wise, data in the metaverse is stored in exabytes, which raises security concerns among users about secure storage, data transfer, and synchronization. Trust-wise, information on blockchain, such as user data, ownership details for virtual content, and authorization case and transaction details, is stored in encrypted form. Full decentralization is provided by the blockchain, and the metaverse decentralized ecosystem allows thousands of nodes to operate and synchronize independently. Smart contracts, using smart contracts, the metaverse can create, implement various rules for ecosystem operations, and these contracts are self-executing, meaning that the contract between two participants is marked as done when the predetermined conditions of rules within the contract are met. Interoperability. Blockchain enables interoperability between different metaverse projects, so they can seamlessly interact and perform actions such as exchanging any data, information, and resources. NFTs, game-based metaverse projects make up a large portion of total existing metaverse projects. For such projects, NFTs play an important role, providing immutable digital proof of ownership. Cryptos, the metaverse is a representation of the real world and allows users to perform all the activities possible around us in the virtual world. And these activities can consist of meeting people, traveling to different places, and trading. All these activities require a global currency, which can be realized with cryptocurrency. Authentication. To verify a person's identity, a government issued ID cards, social security numbers, and passports, visas, etc., is required. And in the metaverse, authenticating users' identity works very similarly. All data about users, such as appearance, activity, age, and other unique characteristics, is securely stored in the distributed ledger, where nodes validate this data. And technology stack for blockchain developments, front-end development and back-end development, they separate in two topics. Front-end development refers to the development aspect that focuses on the visual elements of a decentralized applications that users will interact with. And backend development, the backend of blockchain-based solution is mainly the smart contracts, as we mentioned before, where the code runs over a decentralized peer-to-peer network to regulate the app. Second is augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. AR and the VR are the starting point of the for the metaverse, and these two technologies are gigantic engines needed to create the metaverse projects, which can enable immersive experiences and engaging three-dimensional digital world for the metaverse. Augmented reality and virtual reality technologies in the market are technologies take augmented reality and AR VR development using a Unity, Unreal Engine, AR Toolkit, Google R Core, Apple ARKit, and Max AR development. I'm sorry, softwares. And third is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is another important driver for the development of the metaverse. By using AI, companies are replacing human activities with the computer controlled automated actions. The most common applications for AI businesses is fast computing, identity verification through facial recognition, analytics, and scaling better strategies. And the softwares for the artificial intelligence in the market are AVS, SageMaker, TensorFlow, and scikit-learn. Fourth one is the 3D reconstruction. Since the metaverse maps the real world, it should provide realistic virtual spaces created using 3D reconstruction technology. This technology supports the creation of photorealistic objects such as buildings, a high-resolution 3D environment, and physical locations within the metaverse that conform to the fundamental laws of science and physics. And softwares for 3D reconstructions are used, which is Unreal Engine and Unity, and CryEngine 2. Fifth one is Internet of Things. Internet of Things is a technology that acts as a medium that connects the real world to the internet through sensors and devices. For the metaverse, Internet of Things promotes connectivity between the metaverse and real world objects or devices. Once these devices are connected to the metaverse, they can seamlessly exchange and receive information to make the metaverse a more efficient replication of the physical world. And the Internet of Things stacks are MQTT, Azure IoT Hub, AMQP, and LoRaWAN.
Problem definition risks of using forklift. One of the indispensable tools of the logistics industry is forklift. The forklift must be operated by a licensed operator in order to be used. It is the most common tool used for transporting, storing, and racking products. For this reason, forklifts are widely used in almost every factory, warehouse, or port, especially in the logistics sector. Forklifts are used to carry and transport heavy materials primarily in non-roadway areas. The forklift category also includes order pickers and motorized lift trucks. The term forklift describes the source of the injury, not the event. Forklifts were the causes 78 work-related fatalities and 7,290 non-fatal lost time injury in 2020. This infographic provides an overview of non-fatal lost workday trends, including type of injury, body part, and historical trends.
We have a
Uh,
video in right there. Yeah, as you can see, it was a example of risk of using forklift. You can continue, Berkay.
And how to we reduce forklift related accidents. Employer may try to reduce forklift related accidents by taking some measurement. They can try to train drivers, penalize for speeding, penalize improper turning, increase the signs of warning and marking, penalize giving a right to other employees with forklift, or even change the workplace design. None of these measures will provide complete safety to the forklift driver. The only way to maximize forklift driver safety is if the driver is not in the work area. If the drivers operates the forklift with the remote control system, they will not be in a situation where they will be at risk in work area. We considered our solution approach to minimize this risk. You can continue.
Our solution approach is VR controlled forklift, and one of the indispensable tools for of the logistics is forklift, and the forklift must be operated by a licensed operator in order to be used, and it is the most common tool used for transporting, storing, and racking products. For this reason, forklifts are widely used in almost every factory, warehouse, or port, especially in the logistics sectors, as Berkay said before. And we developed a system for forklift users, and we call that VR control forklift. For this system, we need forklift, of course, an operator, via headset, via software infrastructure, management system infrastructure, powerful GPU and CPU, remote management kit for forklift, remote control kit for operator, and database. Functioning of the system is the operator will be taught how to use the system. Second step, a remote management kit will be installed on the forklift. And third step, the task of this kit will be operate the forklift to check its motion functions. Fourth step, the kit will be connected to the via software infrastructure and management system infrastructure over the wireless network in the warehouse. Five step is the cameras in the kit will simultaneously transmit the image to the computer to which the driver's VR headset is connected. Therefore, we will use a powerful processor and video card that can simultaneously process the image. Sixth step is processed image will be transferred to the driver's VR headset via the VR infrastructure. So the operator will have a control over all the viewing angles of the forklift. Seventh step is the operator will be able to operate all movements of the forklift thanks to the remote control kit. The remote control kit will be connected to the VR software infrastructure and the management system infrastructure simultaneously. Thus, the movements of the operators will be stored in the database as data and will used by the management system infrastructure to make the software more stable and calculate estimated operations times. After all the steps are completed, the forklift operator will be remotely control the forklift thanks to Metaverse technology. In order to system to work stable and fast, the best graphic cards in the market and best processor market and the best VR headset in the market will be used. And software and infrastructures will be developed in agreement with software companies, which lead the in their industries. Agreements will be made with companies that are experienced with software and hardware industry for the production of infrastructures. You can see the steps in these graphs.
Temple University campus on Second Life. Second Life is a massive multiplayer online game which developed by Linden Lab. It allows people to edit the universe and their own avatars to do their own wish. Avatars are a real person and places is created by people. Virtual University. The second live virtual campus project for Temple University was another testament to the effectiveness of Abe's, Abe's methodology in addressing the difficulties of designing buildings in a virtual universe. The client's original wish was to similarly recreate the Philadelphia campus. In fact, the design brief called for a set of specific environments for learning where where tutors could simulate science experiments and potentially risky activities without exposing students to any hazard while training them in risk assessment. Uh, Defining the plan, the size of the space of an island on SL was not large enough to enclose the area to be reproduced. Therefore, Vertometo's designers had a decision to make: either scale and adapt the buildings to fit within smaller space on the island SL, or create a completely different space. Mm, The design team opted for the second hyp- hypothesis and explored possible specific features of this new version of the campus in virtual reality setting. Without direct reference to the campus building, the designer applied the methodology of Abe to create an entirely new environment that maintains a connection to the city of Philadelphia, home to Temple University. Temple University is home to while exploring what the specific features of this new empty building environment should and could look like. Design process: Abe's first step in designing the Temple University campus, the act of knowing, was to choose another reference lexion that no longer had a direct connection to the real world of campus. This problem was solved by using the grid street plan of the city of Philadelphia, to which an iconic archite- archi- architectural complex was added that could be used as a reference for the design of the language game, thus realizing an architectural dialogue between them. The design focuses on the following two reference elements. One of them, Philadelphia's grid plan, which could be adapted to the modular framework of the virtual space at SL. Since the latter is Square Island, the grid served as an urban network to connect the different parts of the campus in an organic composition on which other architectures overlap. Uh, to the National Parliament building in Dhaka, Bangladesh, designed by one of the most famous citizens of Louis Kahn architectural style, with its characteristic formal coherence and articulation, is virtually absent from digital environments because it does not reflect contemporary architecture, which is widely used in RevW and is based on single episodes, conceptual and acoustic, acoustic forms. As mentioned above, the methodology of Abe rejects the self-referential tendency of contemporary architecture, which only aims to realize radically new identities detached from the context and method. In order to take advantage of given space on the island SL, the ground plan of the complex in Dhaka was scaled down using the same approach as for Hadrian's Villa. During this process, Khan's, Khan's architecture underwent a kind of aging process with the aim of transforming it into a ruin of a glorious past architecture by using masonry textures, lowering in the walls to different heights, and removing the roofs of the buildings. Where Tomatoes designers created a kind of modern rune that used the structuring power of Khan's elements to articulate the grid of the new campus. Again, in this project for Temple University's virtual campus, goal was to create a past in the virtual world of SL to inhabit this virtual space as an expression of an earlier civilization that intervenes in and influences the design of virtual campus. The positive impact of Diamond Island can be measured not only by the sustained avatar traffic ridden the island over a period of time, but also, and more importantly, by the enthusiastic response from the client and feedback from Temple University students and facility. Indeed, the design provided users with playful and articulated space that allowed them to simulate their science experiments and potentially risk activity in a safe environment and to engage in various learning activities. Positive feedback from students and tutors include an engaging virtual campus and easy to use virtual environment.
The completion of the Temple University campus on Second Life, the overall architectural concept outcome was probably only partially achieved, not because it was inappropriate and unrealistic, but because it was incomplete. In some parts of the island, the cons ruin over everything else because it was not inhabited by the new campus. In other parts of the island, the ruin was reduced to a few broken walls that were disconnected from the whole. And however, the validity of the idea and structuring ability of the architectural system created on Diamond remain as a solid framework for further experimentation research at SL and WV. Conclusion of our article: although metaverse is useful, it's still a very a new concept. It is obvious that it needs a lot of time to develop and used by public and industry. Metaverse can provide enormous advantages when developed and used in industry. For example, people can now work or study from home. These developments can provide companies high profitability and completely change the supply chain and logistics industries. Of course, in order for these to be experienced, the technologies in the table in the figure 2.1 must reach a certain level. Therefore, in order for metaverse technology to develop and to develop other sectors, software and hardware sectors must be firstly reach a certain level. In addition, with the introduction of the concept of metaverse into our lives, it may be possible that rules such as ethics may change. We see an example of this on social media. States still cannot fully enforce social media laws, and the reason for this may be the bureaucracy cannot keep up with the speed of developing technology. And with the introduction of the metaverse into our lives, bureaucratic processes can also accelerate, and our social life can be indirectly affected by the metaverse.